Hello everyone, this is Josh X Play Place, and today we continue expanding our city of New Austin in this episode 3. So let's begin. As we remember, last episode, episode 2, what we did, what we focused on was in creating this agricultural zone, in this case called Strawberry Ranch, which is already proving profitable. Of course, it takes a little bit, and if you have a small area with a couple of buildings, it's still not going to be as profitable as later. But we're doing well on that side. We zoned a little bit more industrial. We did the industrial focusing on agriculture, which is something you can do from the industrial specialization, since we have agricultural resources in this area. But for now, that's the only thing we're doing. And what we're gonna focus on in this video, in this episode, it's to create a subdivision here that basically is a newer type of subdivision, a newer type of neighborhood, and we're gonna focus on making it the self-sufficient buildings. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let this run, maybe not as fast, but maybe like this. As one of the tips that I also give everybody is to, first of all, since we're micromanaging the budget in terms of electricity and water, we want to make sure that we have enough electricity and water when we're building. That way we don't deal with any issues. So we're going to increase this to 95. Make sure there's no issues with the current demand. And same thing in terms of water. We're going to go from 70 to 80. And I think that should be good enough. For the rest, we're fine. In terms of garbage, we might need another landfill, but hopefully whenever we get to the next milestone. So one of the things that I like to make sure is that we have limits when it comes to what we're gonna do on a certain zone. In this area, in this zone, as we can see, we have the expressway that runs through here. So that's something that I'm more than sure it's gonna continue all the way there. So that's something where that's an area that we don't wanna mess with. So I'm gonna make sure to put roads there. I think this should be more than enough for now. And we have this here, which is fine. And in this case, we have this area. And I'm just gonna put this because it's a little bit cheaper, and it's gonna help us later on. So we're gonna do this. I think that maybe in the future this road can keep on going this way, but I'm not sure at the moment. You know, let's take it one step at a time. There's an abandoned building here. Let's just demolish it. Again, we're making a good amount of money. Our population is growing. We have demand basically for everything, so we should be good to go right now. We don't have to worry. And let's begin with doing our new subdivision. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to follow the contour of the river, even though we're not going to put a quay because I don't think that's something that I want to do at this moment. I do want to make sure that we follow this specific shape. Also, one of the things that I like to do when in terms of creating a subdivision, which is again something that I base myself based on where I live in Texas, is to have just one big block with limited access to that area. Basically, we can have one or two entrances, no more than that. I also like to do fences, and I also like to do paths, walking paths. So that's something that we're gonna be taking a look at right now. So one of the ways that I start building my subdivision is basically making a road 6 blocks away from the other road. And basically how this is going to work is we're going to have the 4 squares for the actual building, then we're going to have a walking path, and then finally we are going to have a fence, something similar like this. And that way you're going to see how this works. One of the glitches that I've mentioned in the previous episode is that no matter what type of road I think you place here, there's always this glitch where you're missing one extra square. I don't know why, but sometimes it gets fixed like this, so it shouldn't be a big deal, but it might affect our building later on. Anyways, we continue building the other side here, the other road, and let's not get there. We're gonna build the other road here, and let's pause this really quick because I want to move the power grid, the power lines this way, and that way we can have these to be clear. And yes, there should be electricity there. There you go. Let's continue. So it's in here when I start deciding what type of curves I want to have for my roads. And in this case, I think we're gonna stay like this, and maybe like this. Okay, let's continue laying our roads. And again, it's laying roads, I think, is the most difficult thing that you're gonna encounter when trying to play this or any other city builder game, because it depends how you want things to look, your experience, where you live, so it's always a little bit more difficult. But I think this works really well, at least for now. So again, we're seeing the contour of the river. This could have been a little bit higher, but it's fine. Again, there's no perfection when it comes to roads. But we continue, and it's in doing this that you're gonna see the biggest issue, which is how to approach the intersections here. For this, I'm just gonna do one more and continue these roads here and these roads here. There you go. And maybe we can continue that here, continue that here, and last but not least, this one here. And I think it works good enough. And in here, we can do it this way, and we'll figure out what to do here in a bit. And maybe let's see what we can do. Let's redo this again. Okay, and we can do. Let's do this way. Let's put it this way. And I think that looks good enough. And let's do another road. Let's do it here. And we can do something that I'm gonna show you in a bit here. Since we don't have cul-de-sacs in City Skylines 2, but we can do something very similar. which is creating this. And I think this works really, really well. And you get zones on the outside of the cul-de-sac. I have seen that City Skylines 2 does have a way to put the cul-de-sacs, but it's basically using a roundabout and it doesn't zone the area around it. So I think that's a big of an issue. On these corners, in order to make them look a little bit better, what I do is to create a little curve. Not too big, not too small. That should go around these roads, and you'll see why in a little bit. The next thing that I want to do is choose where I want this to be connected. I'm going to use this side, and I'm going to use this side too, and it didn't mess up our grid. No, it should be fine. The first thing that I'm going to do is make sure that there's no light messing up our road. And what I like to do is to put stop signs to the ones going out and leave everything else going in. Later on, things change, so I do change those stop signs. I might just take them off because it creates some traffic. So next, what I'm going to do is extend the walkways to the side, and we made a mistake. That's okay. And let's do it on this side. And for me, these walkways serve two purposes. The first one is to have something that creates yet another barrier between the large road and the actual residential area. And sometimes they look like a back street, so that's something that we can do later on with some of the other subdivisions. I also like to do another one like this outside of the curve. Again, you don't have to do it, of course. That's something that I decide to do it based on what I like and the way that I think it works a little bit better, especially with pedestrians and bicycle cyclists, which I think that unfortunately we're not gonna have right away in Cities Skylines 2. So that's a big negative side for the new game. Let's continue improving our subdivision, and by that I mean adding the water and adding the electricity, but at least for water right now. When it comes to water, what I like to do, again, this is gonna be mostly pointless in the new City Skylines, but at least for now, what I like to do is to run the pipes under the roads as much as I can. Here, of course, because it's a different situation, we didn't do it, but otherwise I think that it works well. I didn't used to subscribe to this way of thinking, but based on some creators, I kind of changed my mind as to how to do it. But I think it works really well, and it makes sense. Of course, they know better than me. They know what they're doing. So we do the contour. Of course, we don't have curves. That doesn't matter. We can still make things work. So we continue here. And here. And one more. We're gonna do it. Making it here. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gonna do this side just because we might have to get rid of these this pipe that's running here to get to the water pumping station. But otherwise, I think for right now, that should be it. We are forgetting to put the fence. So I'm gonna put a fence from here to here, here, from here to here, here. Finish this up. Continue it on this side. Here, here, and here. I'm gonna not zone anything here yet, so we should be fine for now. The other thing is that I do want to use the different roads. Unfortunately, we don't have the cyclist, the bicycle lanes there yet. But as you can see, this glitch is not gonna let things work that well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So for right now, it should be fine. So the last thing that we need to do is to create that district. So let's paint this district just like this. And let's clean it up a bit. Oops. What we've seen for City Skylines 2, I think that the way to draw districts is way better than the way that we're doing it here. So let's keep doing this. Okay. We're gonna go and add this. And maybe we have something else, some other policies that we can do. We can do let's do recycling, at least for this one, to make it a little bit more green. And on these corners, I created an asset which is basically a 1x1 park that I like to put on these corners. And I think that's gonna help, and that's gonna look really, really nice. Okay. Before we start zoning here, let's zone a little bit more of industrial zones. Let's continue doing this here. And this here. Make sure there's water. There's no water, so let's put the pipes. And there you go. And if I think there's still enough to do it here. Let's grow this zone a little bit. And so let's start growing a little bit. Let's see how we're doing with we're doing good money. It's actually not that bad. I do, however, want to pay some loans. We can pay this loan, and that way we're not in trouble. So first, let me see what new things I can plop in here. Let me finish this, and this. And if I recall correctly, we are doing apples. Yes, we're doing apples. So let's change this. Apples, and apples. And I think we already have the flour mill and we have the animal pasture. I think for the animal pasture, I'm gonna plop just one here. And then in a little bit, we're gonna plop a flour mill. It's just a little bit too expensive. And I think this should be fine for now. This one has Highland cows. Yeah, we're fine. It should be fine. And hopefully we can see this giving us a little bit more money. But we're gonna have to wait for that. there's still a lot of demand for industrial, so let's continue zoning, and I'm gonna continue zoning this as agricultural. Hopefully it's enough. Let me make sure that this doesn't lose electricity, and let's upgrade our road. And let's pause really quick, because again I don't want to lose water. And I think we can do a commercial zone. Let's do it here. Let's do a little commercial zone. That deals with organic and local produce. So we're going to do that. And let's pause the game. As we can see, there's electricity. There should be water. With electricity, we should be fine for now. Let's start zoning. See, as you can see here, it messes it up. So I'm only going to start zoning all these inside. And when I'm done, I'll come back. Okay, so I zoned as much as I wanted, so I'm gonna leave this open for now. And so I'm gonna also leave this open for now. In here, there's a couple of things as to why I left this open. First of all, I think we can do a little block here. Yeah, that should be fine. And zone a little bit more here. And that almost fixes this. The way that I fix it sometimes is I upgrade and I downgrade again. That fixes it a little bit, and I'm gonna zone these two. That way there's enough power coming here. So one of the things that I like to do at the entrance is to have a park. However, in this case, I think that instead of a park, I want to do a sports park, which is part of the latest, one of the latest content creator packs and expansions. And I think I'm gonna have a, let's do a football field, and as you can see, it's gonna occupy most of it. But it's gonna make almost everybody happy. In terms of schools, we have enough capacity for everybody. In terms of high school also, it's the same thing. So we really shouldn't worry about having anything else, at least here for now. What I do think we can put in here is another post office. I'm actually gonna plop one here. And another one, let's put it here. Okay, and that should be enough. And so let's see how this grows little by little. And so we need to stop because our agricultural zone district now is level 3. We have a little bit more things to plop, but we're gonna wait. As you can see, the demand for residential is not that high. That's why this didn't grow that much. What we have demand for is for commercial, which we're gonna do here. And sure, why not? Let's do it here too. And I think now we are okay to delete this line. I think we should be fine. And as you can see, we are already nearing the top of our budget. I don't like to do over 100 that much at the beginning. Um, Later on, it's a different thing, but right now, I'd rather not. So we need water and we need electricity. I'm gonna pause it really, really quick because we're gonna see what options we have as far as electricity. And basically, the cheapest option, even right now, is to have coal, and that's what we're gonna do at the moment. Let's see how well it does. Okay, and let's pause it again because yeah, that already has electricity. We need some water. I don't know why there's not enough water, but let's put another one here. And our sewage one here. And everything should get fixed. There you go. So let's lower the budget for the water just a little bit. There's enough water here. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, in terms of electricity, we're fine for now. We might have to plop another one. I don't think we have enough money, but we shall see. In here, what's the problem with this area? Not enough workers. So there should be workers arriving here. As you can see, I like the way that this looks too. It goes with the gravel look of these houses. So it's growing nicely. It's growing slow. We should be fine. We're making good money. We don't have any outstanding loans. We are growing nicely. So let's take a look at everything that's going on in our city. So first of all, in terms of electricity, we're providing enough electricity, so we're fine. We might want to lower a little bit, but I think it's fine for now. Same thing in terms of water. We already built some more facilities. In terms of garbage, I think that's our next issue. And I am going to plop another landfill just right here. As the city starts making more money, more of a surplus, I do like to start building the recycling centers. So that's something that very soon we're gonna have to start doing it. In terms of education, we have enough education for our needs. Same thing with high school. University, unfortunately, we don't have the means to build anything yet until we reach 8,500 people, as you can see here, and that's gonna be an interesting place to see where we can do that. In terms of happiness, our residents are beginning to be happy, so that's a good sign. It's up and down. It's up and down. Health, we might want to start building another clinic, and I think the clinic is gonna be here. I think that's gonna help us a lot. Increase not only the happiness but the health. In terms of childcare and elder care, I don't think we have enough money to begin building these two buildings. So I think we're fine for now. And in terms of death care, we have enough here. It's more than enough. It's not gonna be in need. The levels, we have traffic, which is fine for now. It's a little bit congested here. I think it's fine. We can work on it later on, but I think that for the time being, it should be fine. Especially because we only have one entrance. We should be working to making the other exit here. But let's wait for now because we do need to buy another square. In terms of fire safety, I think that might be the next thing we need to plop. I think in here, which is fire and crime. I think fire or crime are going to be our next big things, the police and the fire station. We don't have transport. Our population is growing nicely. Our outside connections, we import mostly mail, which is kind of interesting. Forestry, agriculture, and other goods. And we export mostly agriculture and just regular goods. The land value, I think it's fine for now. It should be growing, especially in this area. It should very well be growing. In here, citizens are sick. And let's pause the game really quick. I hadn't realized that we don't have enough water current to do it here, so what we're gonna have to do is to have an emergency building of water towers. So this one has a capacity of 120,000, this one 60, so we need to do at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Reason being, we're gonna have to turn these ones off, because even though the water is flowing this way, it's not enough. That's an unfortunate thing that I hadn't considered, but I think we should be fine with this. There you go, yes. And that's something that you need to be very careful to, that I hadn't considered at all. And as you can see, the pollution is here. Now there's no pollution on drinking water. Now our citizens are not gonna get sick, which is good, or else they would die really fast. In terms of noise, this is gonna be noisy for now, and that's fine. What I'm gonna do is plop some trees, and as you can see here, the noise should be decreasing a little bit. Not that much, but at least it's gonna help us in here. And we were going with what else can we do? Tourism. There's not that much tourism going on. Park maintenance, we're not going to deal with that right now. Industry area, post offices, fishing industry, and service points. We're not going to deal with those right now. Let's do this. So I think as of right now, we've been able to grow our city a little bit more. We finished this area that I wanted to do as our subdivision. Of course, the next subdivision is going to be on this side. Our area is doing well. It could be doing a lot better, and since we don't have money for a flour mill, I'm just gonna plop another animal pasture. Highland cows, yes. And that should be able to give us a little bit more money with animal products and to increase our profits. And before we leave, I think that we have enough money, so we'll see. Let's fast forward this. But let's continue building this road, which I am just gonna do it like this. That way we have enough money. In here I'm gonna go over. Okay. And remember, we have one more square tile to buy, and we're gonna do that. And that's growing our city very, very nicely. I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna continue the road. Right now I'm gonna pause it because what I'm gonna do is gonna disrupt this expressway a little bit. So there's different ways where you can add your exit ramp to the expressway. The way that I do it again, it's based on what I see here in Texas. Of course, it's different in every single part of the world, but at least for here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw 1 and 1, basing it on this, and 1 and 1. I'm gonna extend this to an extra 4, an extra 4, an extra 4, and an extra 4. Delete this, and I'm gonna start deleting this one too, and I'm gonna do an overpass, which should be continuing here. This overpass is gonna continue here, is gonna continue here, here, and finally it's gonna go lower. Okay, so as you can see, the exit is gonna be an overpass for the road that's connecting it here, as opposed to the expressway going up. And it has its plus and minuses, but the way that I like to do it here, I think it works nicely. It looks nice too. It would be better if I had tools to change the flow of traffic, but I don't. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and we're gonna do it here. 1, 2, and we're gonna do it here. Same thing on the other side, and you can see more or less where I'm going. 1, 2, 1, 2, here. Let's connect them here. Okay. Let's do the connection from this frontage road, which doesn't really work as a frontage road that much in here yet, but we will be changing that later. And let's do 440, 440, and in here the same thing. 440, 440. Okay, I am gonna upgrade this road to this, and we should be fine right now. Yeah, sometimes this doesn't work as well as it should. Connected here, there you go, and just one here and one here. For these sides, I like to do the two-way highway. It used to help at the fact that we didn't used to have the option to do this, but it's also faster, so we should be fine. Until this here, and the frontage road is gonna be A1, and making sure that it's the correct direction. And same thing here. Going back. And there you go. And last but not least, making sure that there's no traffic lights. And I think in most cases, traffic lights don't help with traffic that much. Sometimes it does, so we'll see. And I'm gonna add this here, a road here. That way these people have access faster, and they might wanna take this road as opposed to this. But we'll see. I think the only other thing to make it more entice for people to use it is to make it a highway road, which is the two-way highway. and I think we're fine for now. Of course, we had to get a loan, but that should be fine at the moment. We have enough. We have enough money coming in, so we should be able to pay it in a little bit. So let's take a look and wait to see if this works well or not. And well, as you can see, this road is being used a lot. I didn't think it was going to be that much, but it is, and I think it was able to decongest a little bit on this side, and it did. Now we're up to 95, which is great. And I think one of the main issues with a lot of people building cities, not only in City Skylines but back in the day in SimCity, is the fact that there's not enough exit ramps from the expressway. Everybody likes to draw expressways and create them and whatnot, but I think that there's not enough. And just like any other city, I think you need a good connection for this. And if you don't put enough exits, enough connections into your city and outside to your city, things are not gonna work that well. I mean, this is working, as you can see. It's working. It's taking people from here out. Same thing as this, but mostly from this side. And as we continue to grow the area, and in here we don't have any type of resources, so that means that it's gonna be just regular industry. I think we should be able to utilize this a little bit more, and of course, as these ones go, it should be going a little bit better. We have enough money to pay for our loan. Let's pay for our loan, that way we don't owe money. And well, I think we're gonna finish episode 3 with a little bit of a disappointment that this area didn't grow completely, but again, we don't have enough demand for residential. We did increase our profit from our Strawberry Ranch agricultural area, which is great. It's also the one that's helping us grow our money, and that's going to allow us to grow a little bit more. We are doing really well. I think this city is growing really, really nicely. And this is where we are gonna finish today, this episode 3 of New Austin. I do thank you for watching this video, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and see you in episode 4. Thank you.